it's Adrian and it's Vlogmas Day 2. Today I don't think I'm gonna have a vlog video for you because today's my sister's wedding and I'll be home very late at night, so I don't think I'll be able to edit and put everything up tonight. Who knows, I might be super inspired, but I don't think so. But in order to fulfill my Vlogmas promise of a Vlogmas video every day, here I am to bring you this year's holiday bookish gift guide. December is finally upon us, and with that comes the long, painstaking process of finding gifts for our friends and families. And many of us who are watching this video love books, so we like to give books. Last year I did a gift guide that I was very proud of, in fact so proud of that I almost didn't do my gift guide for this year because why mess with perfection. But today I'm here to bring you the second edition of my holiday gift guide. I'm taking a little bit of a different approach to this gift guide than I did last year, so if you don't find what you're looking for in this video, be sure to check out the one from last year because you might find something there. I love making these videos because it gives me reason to sit down and think about all the gifts that I need to give for Christmas. So a lot of these are gifts that are on my own shopping list as well. Just like last year, I've organized everything in categories because I'm a planner and I need organization. But you can, by all means, switch and mix and match and do whatever you gotta do. Just because I put these in categories does not mean these books are necessarily only for that category. Feel free to do with them as you wish. They're just some ideas that branch off from my own shopping list. First up, we've got the young readers. I've got a bunch of books here because I have 2 kids and I know what they love and I know what I need to get them for Christmas. So let's start off with the really young ones and then we'll work our way up. For our youngest readers, I'm going to go ahead and recommend The Velveteen Rabbit by Marjorie Williams-Vianio. This is my favorite holiday book of all time, and if you have been around here at all recently, you are not surprised. But you can even step it up a notch and get them the little Velveteen Rabbit stuffed animal, because how cute is that? This is a great book with a wonderful message that you can read aloud to your kids or your nieces or your nephews or your siblings or whoever you're buying for. It's become a Christmas tradition in my house and my kids absolutely love it. Moving up a little bit in age, I've got Pippi Longstocking for you by Astrid Lindgren. My kids read this year, both of them, and they loved it. My oldest read it by herself and my youngest I read it to her. And so it's great for both ages. Pippi is the cutest little adventure book for boys or girls, and it is a series, so if you wanted to kick it up a notch, you can get the whole series, or even better, get one book and next year get the next one. For those of you who don't know, I have an almost 9-year-old daughter and she loves these next books, and she told me that I could not make a holiday gift guide without recommending them to you. The book that she recommends are the Treehouse series by Andy Griffin and Terry Denton. These are the Dutch version, but I believe that they're called the 13-floor Treehouse, and then they go up per 13 floors every series. I think the newest one just came out, the 91 floors. They're chapter books, but they still have some fun little doodles and some comics in it that kind of break it up for the kids. It makes it easier to handle. Another great book that's wonderful for kids who can read on their own or for reading together is the Narnia series by C.S. Lewis. This one that I have here is just a complete bound up of all of the books, but you could get a really nice box set, or you could just keep on giving the gift of Narnia and give them, again, one book every year. You could also, for the slightly older children, I wouldn't recommend this for the young kids, you could get the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe movie and or the Prince Caspian movie to go along, the recent new ones. That would be a wonderful addition, but again, not for the really youngsters because it can be a little bit scary. Another great holiday gift for kids would be the Series of Unfortunate Events box set by Lemony Snicket. This is a wonderful little series, and again, it's coming back into popularity because of the recent Netflix series that's been released, so a lot of kids are aware of them. It's a great time to introduce them to some reading. Along similar lines is the Spiderwick Chronicles by Holly Black. I actually haven't read this one yet, so I can't really give you an accurate age group, but this is, I think, the 4th or the 5th book. I don't own the first one. These are middle grade books, so great for the older children, around maybe 11 or 12, and again, it makes a wonderful box set. The next idea that I have is for the TV and movie lovers. What I found myself looking for was a book that I could get somebody who doesn't necessarily do a lot of reading, but they do have a favorite TV show or a movie that they really love that I think they might appreciate the book to, even if they don't actually read it. I personally like to give books to everybody, so finding a book to give to somebody who doesn't read can be tricky, so this is one of the ideas that I had. There are a bunch of movies and TV shows that are popular right now that have books that go along with them. I'm gonna give you just a few, but there are lots. If I talked about all of them, we'd be here all day. The first one that I have for you is the Mortal Instruments series by Cassandra Clare. This is the first book, City of Bones. Shadowhunter series is really popular right now, and they're based on this series. If they love the show and have read the series, you could also go ahead and get the Infernal Devices series by Cassandra Clare, which is in the same world but a different trilogy. There are 7 or 8 books in the series, so if it's somebody who you know likes to read, you could get the whole box set. If it's somebody you're not sure that likes to read, you could just get them the first book. Next we have the Big Little Lies HBO miniseries, and this was based on the book Big Little Lies by Leanne Moriarty. I read this book last year and I loved it so much. I've yet to see the series though, but this is a murder mystery that takes place amongst kindergarten moms. It doesn't get any more awesome than that. Another book that I've been seeing around going a lot lately because of a series that recently came out is The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. I read this book this past year. This is a dystopian book and it's definitely a more heavy topic, so don't give it to anybody who can't really handle that kind of thing, but I really enjoyed this book and I've heard that the series is also wonderful. Next up is a book that I hauled recently that I still haven't read yet, and that's Wonder Woman by Leigh Bardugo. This is great for anybody who has loved the Wonder Woman movie. I have not read the book yet, so I can't tell you if they're about the same thing, but from what I understand, this is a prequel, sort of like a prequel. They don't go hand in hand to each other, but they tell a different story. At least that's what I've heard. I'm not entirely sure because I haven't seen the movie yet, nor have I read the book yet, and they are both on my priority list. I want to read the book before I see the movie, so you know how those things goes. But anybody who loves superheroes would love the Wonder Woman book. Another book to movie recommendation I have for you is Ready Player One by Ernest Cline. This is a movie that's coming out this coming March, and I recommend this for anybody who loves computer games or anybody that grew up in the 80s, because there are lots of 80s references that are hysterical for those of us who come from that generation. Here's a recommendation that is great for the adult and for the teenager and preteen because it deals with some really wonderful topics about bullying, and that's Wonder by RJ Palacio. This movie just came out, I think a few days ago. I haven't yet seen it. I have read the book and I loved the book. It was one of my favorites from this year. Another series that is huge is Game of Thrones. So you could get one or all of the books from the Song of Ice and Fire series by George Martin. This is a box set. These books are chunky books, so they might not be great gifts for anybody who absolutely hates reading, but for anybody who could appreciate something like that, I would recommend getting the books if they're a Game of Thrones lover. And lastly is a book that I'm currently in the middle of at this very moment, so I thought I would add it to the list, and that's Before I Fall by Lauren Oliver. This is about a girl who dies in a car crash and she has to relive her life several times. It too is a movie. I haven't finished the book yet, have not seen the movie, so I can't tell you if it's any good, but I do know that people have seen the movie, and if they like the movie, if you know they like the movie, then the book would be a great gift. Next up, for the person on your shopping list that has a hobby, I've got a couple recommendations here for you. The first one is for anybody who likes to sew or quilt. These are just some books that I have in my own personal collection. There are hundreds of ideas that you could do. For the knitting / crocheting, you could get them a book full of patterns, maybe a nice set of crochet hooks, or some nice knitting needles and some yarn. This is just a book of patterns for some cute little baby toys, but there are, like I said, millions. Go to any craft store and you can find God's own quantity of books with patterns in them. And the similar thing is, these are just some quilt ideas. This is for some table runners and some quilting. Next up is for the person that loves to cook or bake. Cookbooks, again, there are cookbooks in God's own quantity and baking books in God's own quantity. You can get a cookbook with maybe a nice spice rack, or you can make a nice basket full of some herbs and seasoning. Maybe even something like a HelloFresh subscription box. That could be something really great for those who like to cook. Or if you're baking, I have a wonderful link that I'll leave down in the description box below that I use almost every year. She makes baskets full of baking items, DIY things that you can make yourself at home and gift it up in a nice basket and give it to the person who loves to cook or to bake. They're wonderful ideas. Like I said, I'll leave it in the description box below. Make sure you go check it out if you have somebody in your shopping list that loves to cook or to bake. Next up is kind of something specific, but I have noticed that the popularity has been coming back recently in recent years, and that's Dungeons and Dragons. These are two handbooks that I have here. This is the Player's Handbooks and the Dungeon Master's Handbooks. These are my husband's. He's really into Dungeons and Dragons. But everybody's been talking about it, so it's obviously becoming popular again. If you have anybody who you know likes to play Dungeons & Dragons or likes RPGs in general, you could get them something like this. There's also a new book that's coming out. I plan on getting that one for my husband for Christmas. So if you know anybody who likes RPGs that could get into something like this, and you know that they like the Dungeons & Dragons game but they don't have these books, and you want to give them a book per se for Christmas, this could be a wonderful idea. And lastly, if they have any activities that they really love, like beauty or sports, I recommend a coffee table book. I only have one in my house at the moment, and that's just a Star Wars one. A coffee table book is just a book that you can flip through. It's not necessarily a reading book. It's just a book that you can glance at and find some fun facts in. Last year, this is the only repeat that I'm going to do, but last year I mentioned Ruckus Books. I really love Ruckus Books. They have great coffee table books and I get from them quite frequently. So if you haven't heard of them, I recommend you go check them out. They also ship internationally, which is fantastic. The last category that I have for you are for those book lovers among you, and this is my favorite category because let's face it guys, these are Christmas presents that I'd like to have this holiday season. So if you have anybody who loves books, I have got some great recommendations for you. First up are coloring books. Coloring books are really in now. This is the Velveteen Rabbit one, and it goes along with my cute little Velveteen Rabbit book. I told you I love the Velveteen Rabbit. And again, here comes my cute little Velveteen Bunny. You could get the whole set with a nice pack of colored pencils or markers, and it would make a wonderful gift. For a more popular series, I've got the ACOTAR series, and you could get the Cornflowers and Roses coloring book. This one is beautiful. Guys, I bought this specifically for this video, so I get to keep it. I'm so excited. But you can find coloring books for most popular series. And again, you could make this into a nice little basket. There are wonderful Etsy shops that sell candles that go along with the series or any other series that you're getting for. The options are endless, especially when you're a book lover, because you know where to find all the good merch. Come on, don't we all? If you have somebody in your life that you know loves reading and they have a favorite series, like I said earlier, some candles and some fan art would be a wonderful addition to their series collection. Bookish clothing and t-shirts is another great idea. I found this great site called Litograph where they have most of the entire book on the t-shirt. They have an Outlander one that I would love to have for Christmas, so you should go check that out. For anybody who loves specific books or series, you can get some wonderful things there. And the last holiday gift idea that I have for the bookish lover is what I'm calling the Book Essentials Kit. It's really difficult to find a book for someone you know is reading because you don't know if they have the book, so why not get them everything that they need to enjoy their book. You could get them a nice coffee mug, maybe even one that has some reference to a favorite book of theirs. Again, check out Etsy, they are everywhere. A nice blanket, maybe some hot chocolate or some cake in a mug to go along with your coffee mug. And if you know of a book that they want to have in their wish list, you could put that all in there, put it all in a basket, make a nice bow, and there you go, the perfect present for your book lover. You're welcome. That's it for this year's holiday gift guide. I hope you found at least one thing that could be useful for your holiday gifts. If you haven't, again, check out my video from last year. It's one of my favorites. If you enjoyed this video, give it a big thumbs up. If you haven't yet, I'd love for you to subscribe, and don't forget to click that little notification button if you're interested in more Vlogmas videos, because I've got lots coming for you. Thanks for watching, guys, and see you next time. Bye.